Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the INDUO Comic Corner. This is kind of a new segment that we're doing where Dom and I just talk about, comic books that we've been reading throughout the week. I wouldn't say I myself am a comic expert. So don't come to me asking questions like, yo, what happened in this issue and that issue? I wouldn't know.
As well as I.
So
we're not avid comic readers by any instance.
Right, but we do enjoy reading comics. So I just thought it would be a neat thing if we just did a new segment on the side and talked about, comics that we're reading for the week. So yeah, welcome to the Comic Corner. What you been reading, man?
I've been reading the Legion comics, just going back because of the show. I just wanted to kind of see the comparisons between the show and the comics. Of course, there's really not a lot of similarities. They are wildly different from each other.
Yeah.
I've also been reading a little bit of the Rick and Morty comics, catching up with that. While I was in that little dry spell between season 2 and season 3, you know, so to feed my appetite there.
Getting swifty with those comics.
Getting swifty, yep. Getting swifty. Also, I decided to take it upon myself to read Iron Fist comics too.
Cool. So did you enjoy? Did the Netflix show inspire you to go read them?
It did indeed. Everybody's, there's a lot of negative feedback for that show, but I enjoyed it, man. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, there's a couple sappy love scenes every once in a while, but hey, whatever.
Yeah. So we're gonna kind of go into spoilers with every single comics corner. Just letting y'all know ahead of time. But yeah, man, so tell me what you've been reading in regards to Legion. What's the story? What arc are you reading? What's the name of the series?
This is the Next Generation X-Men series, I believe. And it takes place with Legion. He's at some sort of compound with a bunch of mutants that are have broken psyches as well.
Yeah.
And they're all older, so they're older mutants that were telepaths or something like that have dementia. Kind of like we saw with Professor X in the new Wolverine movie.
Mm-hmm.
So he's being taught by this one guy. I can't really remember his name, and they didn't stick with that, So he kind of breaks free after that because I think he accidentally murders everybody with his powers. So he says, he's gonna devote himself to changing, the future and the way things are, just because he doesn't want to be this burden upon everybody.
Yeah.
And he goes to try to fix everything, and in doing so, he kind of tweaks the future, and the X-Men are chasing after him, and then he, tries to save these 2 kids, and it gets really crazy. There's just there's a lot of plot details and stuff like that are just a little bit convoluted at times. But other than that, it's pretty good. There's definitely the addressing issue where he is always just living in his father's shadow kind of thing. I haven't finished the series up. I think I'm on the 3rd volume or 4th volume. I think there's 5.
So in the series, he understands that he's a son of.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. He's living in his shadow, and it's a bigger deal than it is in the show,
Okay.
So he's always taken as the spoiled brat because he doesn't want to, help the X-Men where his dad was helping him, and he knows he's the most powerful telepath in the world and stuff like that, and he can tap into all these other powers, but he's working on trying to do that. But it's also interesting too because you see this guy who's broken and who's trying to tell himself that he has control of himself, so that in order for him to focus and he builds this mind prison inside of himself to cage all these other personalities that have all these different powers that he can actually tap into. It's a pretty interesting concept, but it gets really, really crazy after a while. You're just you kind of have to go back and read a little bit to make sure that you're following the same thing because it's so just everywhere.
Right.
It's all over the spectrum.
So with the Rick and Morty ones, are they in? I'm pretty sure they're canon to the series, right? Or is it kind of its own side thing?
It's kind of its own side thing, I think they're adventures of Rick and Morty, so they take place in the Rick and Morty universe, but I don't think they're necessarily the Rick and Morty we see. The C-137, I think, is what they call them. But they're just like the show,
Yeah.
So if you like the show, you'll like the comics, and I don't think they're written by the creators. So, but I know they've probably collaborated with them enough to know how to write them without taking it in a different direction. But they're interesting. They're definitely interesting. I'm on the second volume of those, and I think there's 4 volumes in total. So,
are they? Do you feel like they captured the humor and everything from the TV show?
They do. They definitely do. They're definitely some of the comics in there I wish they would put out and make into add-ons. To the show, because they are pretty funny. Other than that, I mean,
in Iron Fist, you barely just started it.
Yeah, Iron Fist, I barely started it, but the whole origin of Iron Fist is I've just tapped into that comic, but it's completely different than the show's origin of him. You know what I mean? Where, spoiler alert, in the show, he's flying on the plane with his parents, and then they're going to China, and they crash in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
In this one, his dad and mom are actively seeking this place, which I believe is Kunlun, to find a better place for Danny to live or something like that. And so they're up in the Himalayas hiking with Meacham, which is his partner. And turns out Meacham had this plot to get rid of the Rands in the first place because he was in love with Danny's mom.
Yeah. And
so he knocks the dad off this cliff, and it kind of graphically shows him just croaking on the side of this cliff. It's pretty crazy. And then Meacham goes, "Oh, hey, I've always loved you. Come with me. You and Danny can be saved. We'll come back. We'll own the corporation together. Blah blah blah." She's like, "No, I'm not into that." Basically, and they ended up staying on this little rock because he thought they had fallen or something like that. So they're on this little rock over here, and he's over here, and he was gonna throw him rope. He said, "F it," decided to take off. Excuse my French. We got beep. Anyway, he takes off. Then Danny and his mom make their way back up to that same area. It doesn't show they understand, but they've been stalked by wolves, a pack of wolves, or something. I'm how the hell are the wolves all the way up there at that elevation in the Himalayas? Whatever. So they're chasing Danny and his mom. And
how old is Danny in this?
He's got to be 12 or something.
Okay.
So age difference pretty much the same. They get to this bridge, right, in the comic, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, there's a bridge." So Danny and his mom start running across, then Danny's mom turns around and sees these wolves following him, and so she goes and turns around and sacrifices herself to these wolves. And I'm like, why? You could have just got on the bridge and just kicked them off one by one, right? Whatever. And then from there it kind of blacks out, and it goes back to the Iron Fist. Danny is an older, the Iron Fist, and he's in the competition trying to receive the power of the Iron Fist, and he's beating a bunch of people, and he's being judged by I can't remember what their names are, but there's I think there's 6 or 7 of them, and there's one grandmaster kind of guy. It's interesting. It's definitely different than the.
And what's the series called?
It's just the origins of the Iron Fist. I can't remember off bat what it's called, but it's the original ones from the 70s. You know what I mean? So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got them on Kindle, so it was great.
Nice.
So doing that, and then I'm doing I got 3 other volumes, and it's I think they're the newest Iron Fist series in there.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure, but they look pretty bloody and stuff. I read the reviews, and they were this is intense,
Nice.
So
cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So
welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Had to go take care of some business real fast. So yeah, what I've been reading this week has been. I've been playing a little bit less games this week due to the fact there really isn't anything out. Something just got released though, which we'll be talking about later. So I had a little bit more time to read. So the first thing I've read, and I know you usually get your stuff digital.
Yeah.
I'm way more of a physical kind of guy.
Yeah.
I have to have the thing in my hand.
I used to be that way, but it's become just more tedious for me to get physical copies, and I really enjoy the Kindle.
Yeah.
So
the first thing I've been reading is I've been reading the new manga from the creators of Death Note and Bakuman, Platinum End. You read the first one.
Yep.
I just read the second one as well. It's a great series, dude.
Yeah.
It's really different than Death Note. It gives off the vibe like it's a Death Note kind of thing due to the fact that Death Note was about Shinigamis and death, and this one has to do with angels.
Do they reference Shimigami in there anywhere?
No, they actually do not.
Okay.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's really a cool series. A little bit more lighthearted, I would have to say, in regards to Death Note, to an extent. Mm-hmm. The first volume did open up with a very graphic suicide when
it was pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so the way it works is that in the comics, God, he is giving up his position and wants his top angels to go and find somebody who's worthy to take his place. Mm-hmm. And so these angels go and they find somebody who is in need of happiness. And so the main character, I was about to say Light, that is not his name. I think his name is Mirai. He is depressed. He's about to kill himself, and an angel goes and saves him and gives him powers that a higher rank angel can have. And so there's different ranks of angels. Some of them have arrows, and some of them have wings. And if you're a special rank, then you have both of them. And so not only do you have both of them, but you also have 2 sets of arrows. So there's a red arrow, and the red arrow is used to make people fall in love with you. You have the white arrow, which is used to kill anybody. And so in the first volume, something happens to where Mirai finds out that he was his parents died when he was younger, and he finds out later that his aunt and his uncle are the ones who killed him, so they can get the blessing from the family and the money that came with it. And so Mirai goes and he makes his aunt fall in love with him so he can get the information out of her, and he screams to both, to him and his to his aunt and his uncle, I wish y'all were dead or something like that. And his aunt literally just grabs a knife and just kills herself in the throat.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that when I read that. It was totally just okay.
Yeah, and so throughout the comic, the goal is that you have to kill all the other candidates in order for you to be God. That's the point. And so there's a candidate that's out there called Metropoliman, which is the guy who put himself in an outfit from a famous TV show that the people watch in Japan in the comics. And he uses that costume to hide his identity, but at the same time, he's really serious about it all. So he's killing people. And so in this one, the last one left off where Mirai is going to school and he's going to see a girl that he has a crush on, and it ends up that the girl that he has a crush on is also one of the candidates, and she makes him fall in love with her. And so, would you mind if I spoiled it a little bit?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So the way it goes is that since the volume ends off like that, you kind of think to yourself, what's going to happen? This is the main character. He's going to fall in love with this girl. He's obviously going to die,
Yeah, they're going to pull a Game of Thrones and just, he's actually not the main character.
Right. And so what happens is that the girl that he loves, her angel is not a special rank angel. So her angel, they cannot provide her wings. So she has no wings. She only has red arrows, if I'm not mistaken. And so they did that to Mariah. That way he can be her set of wings, and he can protect her. That way she won't die. That was the point of the whole thing. So it kind of works out for the both of them, and they're both kind of teaming up right now.
Okay.
And so there's a moment where Metropoliman lets out an announcement saying, I want all the candidates to come out to the baseball field so that way I can talk business with you guys. And so there's this huge thing. They go to this baseball field, and
They actually fall for that.
yeah, a lot of people do. So Mirai and Suki, I think that's her name. I don't want to get that wrong. Mirai and Saki, there you go.
Like the drink?
Just like the drink. So they're smart about it.
Yeah.
That their angels stay behind in the apartment while they go. That way their angels aren't hovering above them. Because that's the only way you know.
Yeah.
If there's a candidate, if there's an angel with them.
Same with the whole Shimigami thing. That he had his Shimigami disappear for a minute,
right.
So people wouldn't see him.
Yeah.
When he was meeting his girlfriend.
Yeah. And so in this, so they go to the baseball field. They get there, and this Metropolitan Man's not there. But they look around and you can see angels just floating above in the air. They don't know exactly who they belong to, but they see them. So they're like, there's other candidates here, obviously.
Yeah.
And so out of nowhere, two guys pop out, and they're like, we want to face Metropolitan Man. We want to take him out. And they're also candidates as well. So this whole plan gets devised to where Metropolitan Man causes a fake one to come out, and they go after him, but then they find out, oh, this is not the real guy. And then this girl rises from the stands and says, I want to be a part of these two guys' team because she feels like she's too weak. She doesn't have arrows to fight. And so she comes out, and they are going to make her fall in love with them. That way she could be a part of their team. But like within a split second, Metropolitan Man comes, makes her fall in love with him, grabs her, takes her to a whole different area, and he comes out on the big screen that comes out on the baseball fields. I forgot the Jumbotron, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And so he's having an announcement there, and it's this weird thing to where like two other people come out and they're like, we want to join y'all's team, and so they're about to get them, and then they find out that the fake one that was actually there was switched out the moment that these two went to go get these other two people to be on their team. It's like this weird elaborate plan.
Fucking Ocean's 11 over there.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's not really. Death Note was so elaborate, but it was so smart about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To an extent, this is a little silly on how that works.
Yeah.
Like, it all makes sense, but they're not as elaborate as Death Note was.
And the only thing I guess I could say that is weird, it kind of irritates. It doesn't irritate me. I guess if I was a writer like that, then I'd do anything just to get like an extra buck. But I mean, it seems like he's just playing it like, okay, I went with like demons this time. Now I'm gonna go with angels. Take the same story, change it just a tad bit. You know, give a protagonist that's like conflicted, and then give him a girlfriend as well, and then give him like this like ultimate goal that he's got to get to, and just make it like, you know, super Japanese about it. You know?
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
But I mean, in all aspects, like I really like the first one. I imagine this one's really good too. But I mean, are we expecting like the same thing that we did with Death Note? So like, you know how Death Note started off really great, and then like towards the end it got really just what? You know? Or like they could have just left it off with like, you know, the main antagonist dying. They could have just left it there, but instead they had like another kid take over that guy's place. I kind of stopped watching after that because I was just like,
right, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I think this one will have more so of a precise ending.
Okay.
When they did Bakuman, which is about two guys wanting to be manga artists, smartest idea in the entire world. It ended, you know, like they didn't go too far with it, and so this is. I think that they're gonna. It's taken a while to ramp up. But I think they're finally getting to a point where it'll get exciting, and so I can't wait till number 3 comes out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I recommend Platinum Man. The first volume is absolutely fantastic. Volume 2, it's a little dull, a little too much talking, a little too much like a big elaborate plans going on, but it really isn't that elaborate. But I say if you get through this, and we'll see what number 3 is about. We'll see how it goes.
Real quick, tell me what your expectations are for the third one.
What I hope, so the way this one ends is that they find out that they have to kill Metropolitan Man.
Okay.
Because when Metropolitan Man was there, he killed 3 more candidates.
Yeah.
And he gained their wings and their arrows. So now he has like 6 sets of wings, and he has 5 sets of arrows. So he's like a beast. Like he can like literally shoot out arrows like whatever he wants. So he's like legitimately like so powerful right now. And so Mirai, which is the main antagonist, comes to the realization at the end they need to team up with other people because, you know, they're afraid to. So at the very end, there's a moment where this guy comes to their apartment and he's a candidate, and he's like, please take me into your team. I've been looking for you all. I used all my arrows up to go search for other candidates. And the guy's like, shoot a red arrow at me and I'll tell you everything that I know. And it ends. So what I hope at the end is something happens to the fact that they team up, they find other people, but Metropolitan Man just becomes like this out of control beast. And I'm hoping that at the end, the way that it makes it seem as if like Mirai will want to keep Saki alive if he became God because obviously he loves her.
Yeah.
But I would hope at the very end there's like this real dark decision making that's like I have to kill her in order for me to be God, you know, or she has to kill me in order for her to be God.
My only dilemma about this whole thing is it just doesn't seem like if like I guess I don't know. It's an interesting thought to think that like the candidates for like being God would have to kill the other candidates.
Yeah.
And there wouldn't be really any moral like or conflicting ethic judgment because like they're above that. But at the same time, being human, like you think, okay, well, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
You know, like goes against everything that we've been told. Like if you know anything about like Christianity or you know any other religion, it's like thou shalt not kill. You know what I mean? So it's like how does that make you worthy of being a candidate for a position of life and death?
Yeah, and that's why I find this like a little funny at times.
Yeah.
Because the angels are real like, oh well, you have to go kill him, you know.
Right?
And it's like
they're very sociopathic.
Yeah.
Like, they don't care.
But I mean, it's fine. I'm totally okay with it. Like it's
Its own entity.
Oba and Obata doing their own story, their own twist on it.
Yeah, fair
so
enough.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Everybody's a critic, right?
I do hope that there's something happens to where demons come into place.
That'd be great.
Because there has to be
like
some
a crossover.
Yeah, there has to be a reason why, like the demons should be able to look at this and like, why are the angels killing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I hope that happens. But yeah, that's Planet Men. I recommend it. Y'all go read it. So my second comic that I've been reading today is this comic called Paper Girls. I love the front cover to this thing, dude.
Yeah,
it's really nice. It's tight.
Interesting.
And so what it's about is it's about girls who deliver the paper, and you know it's not really a feminist kind of comic. Like you can take it that way, and I'm totally okay with that. But they don't beat it like they don't beat the drum like way too loud about it. You know, they're like, okay, well these girls, they're the first of their kind of being paper girls because there's only been known about paper boys, and so they're the first girls in this time period, which is like 1988, that are paper girls. And so they go and they are delivering paper, and something happens to where one of the girls gets beats up and by these three guys who are in like these hoods, and they're kind of like wrapped in like mummy kind of looking clothes, but they also look like a little bit of ninjas. It's a weird thing. And so they find them and they try searching for them, and when they get to their to the house that they felt like they were at, they go to the bottom of the basement and they find this machine, and the machine is like, they don't even know what it is because it's 1988.
It's out of the world. It kind of looks like demonic / sci-fi-ish.
Right, and so they're like, is this some kind of like modern art? Like they don't know what's going on, and so something happens to where like the machine goes off, and they somehow end up in the same world, but something weird is happening. Like there's a collision within.
It's like an alternate dimension.
Right.
Kind of. Okay.
So dimensions happen, and then they find the guys that they're going after.
Yeah.
And at the very, very end, like they fight these guys. He's about to kill one of them, and they hit the guy in the head, and he runs away. And they find something on the floor, and so when they find what it is, and she picks it up. It's an apple symbol.
Huh.
And then that's just how it ends.
Okay, so it's supposed to be like they're in the past, and this is like an alternate reality
To
future.
the future. Yeah. And I was like, that's so legit, dude.
That's pretty cool.
Because I literally was like, okay, where's this comic going to? Like, I heard people talk about it, like in media. So I was like, okay, let me give it a chance.
How many volumes are there?
Oh, right now there's like, I don't know if they have volumes yet.
Okay.
I was able to find it. I only found
Issues?
paper. Yeah, dude, this is like $2.99, dude. Fantastic. There's like 20 of these. I'm gonna go try and get one today. But yeah, I loved it.
I hope they have them on the Kindle.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they do. But yeah, I was like, what the heck did she find? And then when she picked up it's an apple, I literally stopped and was like,
Did you get weird fanboy jitters?
it's like, dog, what the heck? Like, what are they doing with this, you know? And so it got me really excited. I really like the story. The characters are really likable. I literally can see this as a Netflix show. Like, this would straight up be a Netflix show.
That would be cool. Like a rival to Stranger Things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the same thing that I thought about. But yeah, I recommend Paper Girls. Y'all go check it out. It's let me see who it's by. It is by Brian K. Vaughan, and Cliff Shang is the artist. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic comic. Great art. It's good. Great storytelling. and it left me off in a cliffhanger that I really want to go back and read some more of this. So, Paper Girls,
I'll be
check
checking
that
it
out.
out.
And then my last comic that I read this week is Volume 1 of Invincible. Now, it came out recently that Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg are set to direct the Invincible movie. This is a big, big comic in the comic world, written by Kirkman, known for Walking Dead, known for Outcast, known for practically everything out there, dude. He is on a high right now. And so what this comic is about is it kind of takes the superhero genre and just flips it on its head. And so the dad is an alien from long ago, and he's been alive for so long, and he comes to Earth, and he finds his wife, and finds a wife, and he has a son, and his son has powers, and his son wants to be a hero. And so it's just about them finding, enemies out there. And it's great storytelling. It's a little slow, but everybody that I've heard says that the moment that you get into Volume 2, like, they do something in Volume 2 that they were not wanting to do until, like, Volume 10. But they felt like this one started off a little slow, that they had to do it automatically.
Really?
And they said that it switches the story becomes like the best superhero story ever known to man. And so I have Volume 2 at home. I haven't read it yet. Been reading this one. Really, really good. I enjoy it. And yeah, it's funny because there's moments where the dad's like the son comes home and the dad's home and he's like, they talk about their day at dinner, and the boy's like, well, I stopped my teacher from killing kids from the students from the school because, they're brats. And then the dad's like, and he asks the dad, like, how's your day? And the dad's like, well, I've been gone for about 200 years in different dimensions. I stopped war peace on another planet. Finally found my way back onto Earth. And so, yeah. And it's like, they kind of make fun of the whole idea,
Yeah.
So, I enjoy it. Kirkman, master.
I think the
master
big
class.
deal about them making a movie about that is that Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen, they did the Preacher series.
Did they really?
Yes, because
On
first,
AMC?
yes, at first the Preacher series was like, I think it was directed by somebody else. It was like gonna be a flop, and then they came in, resurrected it, and it was like really good. I'm waiting for season 2, but I love that show, man.
Yeah, I mean, everyone.
Have you seen it?
No, I've not seen it.
Okay,
Is
check
it
it
good?
out. Yeah, check it out. You'd like it a lot.
Everyone's been
Very dark.
Everyone's excited. I think Seth Rogen seems as if he knows his comic book stuff, dude. Like,
Yeah.
he's into that stuff. So
I mean,
he knows what the fans
When you
want.
smoke a lot of weed as a teenager, I'm sure he's probably just focused strictly on comics.
On comics,
right?
yeah. But yeah, that's it, guys. I really do recommend Invincible. Check it out. Check out Paper Girls. Check out Platinum Man. Check out Legion, Iron Fist, and Rick and Morty comics. But yeah, guys, this is the Comic Corner here on INDUO channel. Leave your all's comments down below. Tell us if you guys have read these comics, what you think of them, and give us y'all's recommendations as well.
Give us your feedback.
Yeah.
If you guys have gotten further in these comics than we have, like, let us know about it. We'd like to hear about it. So.
Yeah, man. And if you guys have any questions, send us your questions, and we'll answer them to the best of our abilities. Remember to push that thumbs up button. And this is Hi Robert Stum. This is INDUO's Comic Corner. Stay tuned for some more comics. We're out, guys.
Thank you.